Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hi, guys. Love the draft. Andrew Berry let the board fall to him when after his priorities made the trades necessary and made enough picks to get some quality starters and valuable contributors over the course of this year instead of playing for the future like every Browns regime has been trying to do since 1999. He followed the Eagles' path. He realizes that you can't upgrade a team if you don't have a team. Kudos to him. I noticed he didn't draft a wide receiver. Smart move because he knows he can't evaluate wide receivers in the draft. You can count on a trade coming anytime soon, just as happens every year. Thank you guys for listening and love the show.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Let's welcome in Fred Greetham, senior analyst for the Orange and Brown Report. Fred, we'll talk about wide receiver in a minute. I know you wrote in an article, takeaways from the draft, good, bad, the ugly. Take us through that when you look at the Browns draft.
Well, it was a strange draft all along, and I think we talked about it here. All signs pointed to taking Travis Hunter. I mean, Andrew Berry did a masterful job of kind of when he explains how great Hunter is and compared him to Shohei Ohtani. You're thinking, how in the world do you pass him up? He usually doesn't heap praise on a potential draft pick, but you felt either he was trying to get the Titans to take him so they could take Cam Ward, or he was so sure they were taking Cam Ward that he didn't care what anybody thought. And then he turned around. It leaks out that they had a deal in place to make the trade a couple weeks before if Cam Ward wasn't available. And so I guess you're kind of expecting a unicorn and you get a wrestler, is one way to put it. I think it's a really practical pick when you get away from it. Kind of like you think back Joe Thomas year, everybody wasn't enamored. You knew he was a good player, and then he spends 10 years and goes to Hall of Fame. If you could get that out of Graham, I mean, a run stopping defensive tackle, you watch the game against the Buckeyes against Michigan. I think the last 2 years, Graham was a big reason why Ohio State couldn't run the ball in those games. And so I really can't fault it. You put him with Myles Garrett and Jim Schwartz. We talked about getting the defense back up to snuff. So I think there. But when you look at it, you move down 3 spots and you get Graham, who Daniel Jeremiah from NFL.com had him as the fourth best player in the draft. And you got the 36th pick, and you got Quinshawn Judkins, and you got the 126th pick, you got Dylan Sampson. So you really got two top tier running backs, at least draft prospects, along with one of the best players in the draft to move down 3 spots. You lost a lot of the sizzle. I get it with the two-way player, but I think it's a big thing. And oh, by the way, you get the number one pick of the Jaguars in 2026. So if the quarterbacks don't work out, we'll be right back here next year talking about the exact same thing, who they're going to take at quarterback.
Were you surprised at Gabriel? That one kind of shocked me.
Yeah, I was. With all the names thrown around, that wasn't one that you were expecting. In fact, before the pick that night, I had a pretty reliable source text me, and when I was asking about Milroe and um, Sanders, and they said, "Don't be surprised if they're still there." But name to keep an eye on was Will Howard. So that's Dylan Gabriel. So yeah, I don't know. After the pick, Barry said that they thought they could get him there. That's a guy they targeted. I think really we've had so many smaller quarterbacks here, you kind of get tired of it. But I think, if the guy was a couple inches taller, he probably would have went much higher when you look at what he did and his arm and his stats and all those type things. But all your projections said you could probably get him in the fifth round. Sanders was supposed to be a first or second round. You get him in the fifth round. So all's well. We talk about getting the quarterback right. Why not take as many swings as you can? And the other thing I feel that with both Sanders and Gabriel is they look at it as assets and value. And a year from now, if both look pretty good, you can always trade one and pick up a draft pick for him in this quarterback needy era that we're in. So I was a little surprised, but I can see, when you look at what he's done, it's hard to argue with some of his background.